y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I am jumping into Truth Camp. This is a devotional from Illustrated Faith written by Taylor, who is Brave Little Taylor over on Instagram. I love her words. I love her heart for Jesus, and I love the way that she teaches. And so I'm super excited. I nearly cried just reading the introduction, and so I'm pumped to jump in. I have all of the goodies from the physical kit. This kit is available where you can order the physical products. It also is available digitally. And this month I'm going to change it up. I bought this map. The whole theme is camping, and I went to the Dollar Tree. This is ginormous, I know. I went to the Dollar Tree and bought this huge map of the United States. It's so big, doesn't even fit on my little filming area here, but I'm going to be working with this map of the US, and today I think I'm going to do at least one block, maybe 2 blocks of this map. I actually have an extra one because it was the Dollar Tree, so everything was only $1.25. So I'm excited to work. I know it seems weird to journal on a map, but I just wanted to change it up, and we're going to try something a little bit different. So we'll see how it goes journaling on this map today. I have some acrylograph markers pulled out to perhaps change up how I do my journaling. So we'll see. We're going to kind of just see how it goes. So that being said, I will put you guys on fast forward. I'm going to try to get through the first section, which is focusing on John 1:1 through 18. I will link everything that I end up using down below, just like always. Otherwise, I'll put you all on fast forward. Let's go. Okay, I went through a few phases with this map. Remember, I did buy an extra one. I'm going to cut out the section of the extra one, the same one that I'm working on the main map, and I'm going to cut out some of these states. And the idea is I'm going to cover up those states with patterned paper. I am using the Round Trip collection from Maggie Holmes. I think it goes pretty nicely with kind of the travel theme of Truth Camp and how we're doing adventures through the Gospel of John. And what I'm going to do is just use a little bit of washi tape on the back of the cutout part and then cut around it, and then it will fit right over the top of the map, and I'll have those sections covered up in scrapbook paper. The original plan was to mix scrapbook paper and the acrylograph pens. And the truth was, because of the slick surface, I just wasn't getting great coverage with the acrylograph pens. I went through a couple different phases where I tried to do just the acrylograph, and then I tried to cover that up with acrylic paint, and I just didn't like the colors that I was getting. It wasn't what I was looking for. Here I am with the acrylograph. You can see it is covering up, but I'll be honest, these acrylographs are not meant to cover up large areas. And if I had a variety of paint pens that were in the colors of Truth Camp, I think that would have worked. I just don't think these acrylographs were really meant for that much area. So you can see I did that. Now I'm coming back over with acrylic paint, and it just didn't look awesome, and I wasn't pumped about it, but I try it. I go for it. And that's why I like to keep stuff like this in the videos. There's times that I try things, I have something in my head that I think is going to work really well, and then it doesn't always work really well. And so now I know going forward on this project, I'm not really going to depend on the acrylographs to cover large areas. I can definitely use it for some smaller little sections, but definitely not a larger section. At this point in the creation process, I was getting frustrated with how it was looking, so I decided I'm going to go ahead and put on the scrapbook pieces that I have, the papers that I have, and see what that looks like. And I was really pleased with how it turned out. So you can see I just detach the top that I used to trace out, and then I'm being pretty generous with the adhesive. This is actually an adhesive roller I got from scrapbook.com as a bonus with a purchase one time. So we're going to give this a try, and I'm going to cover up these different sections, and it definitely has the effect I wanted it to have. So in my head, I like the idea of this map transforming as we are journaling through the book of John. Like I said in the intro, I love Taylor's words. I love how she encourages you to look deeper. She's not going to tell you the answers, if that even makes sense. She's not going to just tell you exactly what to think. She wants you to dig deeper and to dig straight into the Bible and not be influenced by the world around us, by other devotionals. I love how she looks at it, and I was so inspired. And I feel like this is going to be a wonderful transformation. Truth is something that definitely seems to be fluid these days. Everyone has their own reality. And while our faith is informed or at least shadowed by our experiences, meaning it's hard to separate our experiences, the way our lives are, the way our parents and families raised us. It's hard to separate that from your faith, but you can always go back to the Bible to recenter yourself and make sure that your faith is centered in the truth. And it just really hit home for me because I think that's a lesson that we all need right now. It's so easy to get deterred by other Christians that maybe are disagreeing with you, or that might be speaking what they feel is the truth, and they are really causing a lot of disunity. So these are big topics, and I think it's just so smart that in order to really address these topics, we're going straight back to the source, which is the Bible, the Word of God. All right, sorry my head kept getting in the way. I really wanted to make sure this was lined up. I think I'm going to end up framing each section in some different washi tape. This washi tape actually was released in the month of May, maybe April, with the devotional heart check from Illustrated Faith, but I think it goes really nicely with the colors of Truth Camp. So I'm going to use that. And this is when I was trying to like get over the fact that I didn't like what the painted areas look like, and it just wasn't working. So I'm going to finish here with the washi tape. I want this torn washi. This spotty dot washi matches the pattern paper from the Maggie Holmes collection really nicely. So you can see I'm struggling a little bit with tearing it. I like the torn edge. I like the more natural look there, but struggle a little bit. I'll get it eventually. Anyway, I'm trying to like work around those painted areas and think, well, it'll just all work itself out. And once I start layering things on top, it won't be a big deal. And by the time I finish this green washi tape, I am definitely thinking, this is not what I want anymore. I need to change course. I need to figure out a different way to deal with these particular areas that I used paint on. So I do in fact change course. I'm going to use some more pattern paper, and I'm going to continue to cut the states out of the second map and put them on pattern paper, and that way I can lay them on top and I will get a much more unified look. I think, look how good that looks. I like it so much better. So putting that piece down, and then we will do Washington up at the top. And I'm going to leave that little section that's in gold. That's going to stay in gold. The gold actually covered really nicely, and it's a much smaller area, so it just made more sense. I decided to really just skim around the states. So you're getting a really loose look at what the states are, but I think it's going to work really nicely. All right, so that's my background. The plan is to create a background similar to that for every section of the devotional, working through 2 months of Truth Camp, in which case I will have a full map of our adventures in Truth Camp. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to be large. It'll definitely be an impact if I hang it up in my room or my hallway or something like that, but I think it'll be fun to create along the way. All right, I'm currently going through the different ephemera that comes in the kit, and also these flashcards that you can buy to go along with the kit, picking out some that I feel like really go with what I want to talk about. So in this first section, we started with John 1:1, which is why that piece at the top works out so well. It says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." And two big takeaways, things that I really focused on when I was reading this devotional and studying and taking notes, were that Jesus is light in the darkness, and that without Jesus and without God, we would be in the darkness, meaning in the beginning there was the Word, and God created light. He brought about light, and that light eventually came to earth in Jesus's form, and that light is still available to us. And so it was that thought of that Jesus is the light in the darkness that we sometimes feel that really hit me. And then the fact that Jesus, his word is connected to action. It's not just word, it's action immediately. As soon as he says something, it's done. And I thought that was so interesting because I think sometimes I know I can get stuck in just reading the word and taking in the word, but not letting it move me to action. And that was never Jesus's intention. So I'm starting to get some of the ephemera down on the paper, and I want to include these birds, but that'll come in a little bit later. Getting this all set, I love that I can bring in that red up the top. We'll kind of take that down to the bottom. And then if you've watched me very long, you know that I love an interactive element in anything I do. I love having hidden pieces, hidden journaling, things like that. So I have these little plastic sleeves, and I think that they are for a classroom, perhaps labeling something with a child's name, but I'm putting it on the back of this particular flashcard, and I'm putting two of them back there, and I'm going to use it to create a hidden pocket. And I'm going to do something similar. I'm going to create a pocket with this really cute vintage card that has the campsite on it. I'm did some sticky adhesive and then some wet adhesive just to make sure it's going to be really strong. I'll put that on three sides, and then it'll create a little pocket that I can put some extra journaling notes and things like that in it. So I think it's super cute, and I love hidden journaling. I think it's such a cool element to add. I have this sticker that was on some of the packaging that came from Illustrated Faith. I just put it down on some cardstock, and now I'm going to trim it off. And that is going to be the journaling card that I stick behind that little tent. Ta-da! It fits perfectly. And then I got to figure out how I'm going to get in. I want my badge to go right there. And then I need to get this down on the paper and go ahead and pull out some journaling bits. So I'm going to take this paper, cut it down to 1-inch strips, and see how it just sticks in those little kind of sleeves in the back, and that'll be a perfect little journaling spot. I'll have two little ones right there. I'm just going to cut a little arch at the top, and eventually I kind of bend up the arch at the top. I'm kind of using my patch as the pattern, and it doesn't necessarily go super well. So I'll just hand do it. But I take these off camera in just a bit and add in a little bit of journaling. I wrote out the verse Colossians 1:16 through 17, and then kind of my reaction to that, really focusing on Jesus and how his word is immediately connected to action at all times. You can tell I'm a little bit worried that everything will stay on this mat because I'm using much more liquid adhesive than I would normally use. Normally, I'm very much a roller tape kind of gal. I love my roller tape, but when I'm working with the plastic and some of the heavy materials and knowing that this is going to be out in the open, then I definitely want to make sure everything is secured down. So I'm going to add the faithful and true, my last few little elements here and there. And then I'm also going to go up and add a little trail mark. So I thought it would be cute to have the old dotted line that shows you as you're kind of traveling through an adventure. And so we're going to start with John 1:1 in the beginning, and our dotted line is going to go through each section of Truth Camp as I document. So I think it'll be fun to see where it travels. I'm going to outline Truth Camp up here at the top and then add in that dotted line, do all of my journaling off camera. Again, it's important to make sure that journaling is in here when you're working outside of your Bible. Make sure you're considering where those journaling spots are. It's so fun to create and play with the supplies, but really the important part are the notes and the thoughts and the prayers and the things that you are taking from the devotional. Those are important things you're going to want to notate as you're going through. So having those hidden journaling spots really let me do that. Other than that, this first section of Truth Camp is done. Let me know in the comments below if you are participating in Truth Camp and how you plan to work through it. I would love to hear. I'm really excited to go ahead and jump into the next sections. Like I said, it's been a really inspiring one so far for me. I will link all of the supplies that I use down below, so be sure to check those out. I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon members. Thank you all so much for all of your support. If you want to find out more about Patreon, make sure to click the link in the description box below. All right, I hope that you have a fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.